Hi again guys, and welcome to the 69th episode of B-Road Ballers, the review series for Gran Turismo's hot hatches, and also for some which aren't necessarily hot hatches, but can also be used quite effectively as sleeper cars, and this particular pick is one such vehicle. Now, I wasn't initially planning on reviewing multiple versions of the Mini Cooper, or the Mini range in general. We've covered the old school Mini. It's actually a new shape, but in the style of the old school Mini. We've reviewed the Clubman, and of course, the newer Cooper S. All of which in their own way are great cars in different ways. I wasn't though planning to review the others, because could there really be that much variation? Well, as it turns out, I've bought all of them, fully tuned all of them, and there are some significant differences between them. Now, we're starting off with the entry-level Mini. This is the lowest PP Mini in the game, the Mini 1. This is the, as I said, entry level of the new shape Mini range. And so what does it have to offer? Well, actually, it has some advantages over some other Minis. For instance, this Mini is turbocharged, whereas the higher level, for instance Cooper S, as the S suggests, is supercharged. Now, a turbo isn't necessarily better than a supercharger, it depends on the vehicle, but one of the advantages on Gran Turismo, at least, of having the option of turbocharging the car rather than supercharging it, is that you have 3 stages of variation. When it comes to upgrading a supercharger, you've only got one option: supercharger or stock supercharger. With a turbo, you have 3 options: low, mid, and high range, each with their distinct advantages. That can be very useful. Now, this isn't the only Mini that you can turbocharge. You can also turbocharge the 2002 Cooper, but not the 2002 Cooper S, and you can also turbocharge the 2007 Mini Cooper. Now, what kind of difference does that allow you to have? Well, in the case of this particular vehicle, the mid-range turbo works best. It doesn't give you quite as much power as the high range, but it's only 1 horsepower less, and it more than makes up for that with significantly more torque and a higher PP level. Now, like most of the other Minis, it's got a 1.6 engine, it's front-wheel drive, and it's lightweight. The weight on this particular model is a little bit more than the sports models of its generation, but you'd probably assume that that would be the case. And even so, it's only 9 kilos heavier than the Cooper at 941 kilos. The horsepower per tonne is pretty good at 341, given the fact that you're looking at 321 horsepower and a more impressive 338 foot-pounds of torque, thanks to primarily that mid-range turbo. Fully tuned PP is 502, which is actually only 1 PP lower than the Cooper and only 3 PP points lower than the Cooper S, so it doesn't fall as far behind the other two as you'd probably assume. In fact, it's almost as good as them. Now, the price on this model is just under 20 grand, so it is more affordable. In fact, it's the most affordable new Mini in the game, and that is to be noted. It's not a huge amount cheaper, it's only a couple of grand, but still, a couple of grand is a couple of grand. But the question is, of course, is it worth getting? Well, from a certain point of view, yes. This is not the best Mini in the range, it's not even one of the best, but it has a distinct, not necessarily advantage, but distinct point to offer, and that is, it's the lowest model, and as such, it's something of a sleeper. When you bring out a Mini Cooper, although people won't necessarily be worried by that, even in hot hatch lobbies, they will note it. They'll see the name Mini Cooper, they'll think, oh, it's a Mini Cooper, that's a pretty good car. If you see the Mini 1, nobody can take that seriously, it's just the entry-level model. It's not a threat, why would you view it as one? Of course not, it's just the base model Mini. And that can work to your advantage, because people could let their guard down to some degree and not realise, because many people probably haven't bought all of the Minis and found out which one is better or the best, and so they don't know just how close this is to some of the other models. Now, overall, this isn't a car that's going to blow your mind or rip your face off with sheer speed, but it's quick enough for most circuits, the handling is very good, and although you can definitely feel the fact that it's not a sports version, and so the suspension and the handling in general is a little softer, a little more wallowy even when you upgrade it, but it's nothing chronic, it still has excellent handling, it's perfect for beginners even in fully tuned form, and overall, although this isn't a choice of vehicle which I'd say everyone should definitely get, if you are a fan of minis or fancy trying something different, especially with regard to sleeper hot hatches, then you should check out this one, because it's not as far behind the others as you'd think, and it has the significant advantage of being easily underestimated. But that's it overall for this particular pick. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.